Has the show butchered Aemon's character? Aemon Targaryen is remembered throughout history as a villainous character, a kinslayer who murdered more of his kin than even Maegor the Cruel. However, despite his tendency in the book to murder his own family, he's never said to have this animosity and hatred towards his own brother. In fact, Aegon seems to love Aemond in Fire and Blood. He celebrates his killing of Lucerys Velaryon and commends him for making a good start to the war. And he also commissions the erection of statues for his brothers after the war to honor them and remember them for their efforts in championing his cause. It's said that he wanted these statues to be taller than the Titan of Braavos and to be made of gold leaf, a beautiful commemoration for his fallen siblings. Surely, these are not the actions of a man who hated his brother, nor was hated by his sibling. So why make the change? In the book, the Battle of Rook's Rest is a cunning strategy by Sir CRISTON, an attempt to lure a dragon from Dragonstone by attacking the lands of RHAENYRA's council members in the Crown Lands. It's insinuated in the book that both Vhagar and Sunfire were a part of Sir CRISTON's plan, that Aemond and Aegon were both fighting Rhaenys before she injured Aegon and lost her life to the flames of Aemond and Vhagar. However, on the show, this is all shown to be green propaganda. In truth, Sir CRISTON's strategy was to only involve Aemond and Vhagar in the trap, but then Aegon stupidly joined the fighting and Aemond tried to kill him in order to get rid of his brother, taking his throne since he is the next legitimate heir. Though Rhaenys certainly injures Sunfire significantly, it's actually Aemond who tries to kill his brother and his dragon. And apparently the book's version of events is green propaganda spread by the Maesters. In fact, many moments throughout the series so far have allegedly been green propaganda spread by the Maesters. Alicent being present during Blood and Cheese, Helena's grief over the whole incident, Rhaenyra's involvement in the act, Aemond and Aegon fighting Rhaenys together, and now even Alicent's compassion towards her children is apparently green propaganda. Unlike in the book, Alicent has a troubled relationship with her children in House of the Dragon. Helena resists her comforts, she thinks Aemond is a monster, and she belittles Aegon and thinks that he's an idiot, so cold towards him that she doesn't even comfort him after the loss of his son. In this episode, she makes it clear to Aegon that he is a useless puppet with nothing to contribute to his own reign. Therefore, he should do nothing while her and his counselors rule the kingdoms on his behalf. I've said before that this would be the ideal situation given the fact that Aegon is so inexperienced and rash, but clearly Alicent doesn't have the political cunning to do this through Aegon so as to make him believe that he actually is doing something. She lacks the skills to manipulate him, like Marjorie does with Joffrey in Game of Thrones.
Marjorie has her claws in Joffrey. She knows how to manipulate him.
Good. I wish you knew how to manipulate him.
Alicent is a political fool in House of the Dragon, a shadow of the cunning conspirator described in Fire and Blood. If she were clever, she would have realized that she and Aegon are in a similar position, that no one in the small council is listening to either of them, and yet for different reasons. People are not listening to Alicent because she's a woman, but people are also not listening to Aegon because he lacks political experience and intelligence. If Alicent was clever, she would have used this opportunity to grow closer to Aegon, using her relationship as his mother to get him to do her bidding. At the end of the day, Aegon is the king, and his word goes. So if she can manipulate his thoughts, she could influence the council into implementing her plans, while at the same time legitimizing his rule by making him look more competent. But alas, Alicent in House of the Dragon is a great fool of a character, and it's actually annoying to think about how she's being butchered on the show. The words of Tywin Lannister apply to this version of Alicent.
I don't distrust you because you're a woman. I distrust you because you're not as smart as you think you are.
On the other hand, Rhaenyra does nothing on Dragonstone, and she seems incapable of leading her own small council. In episode 1 and 4, she's nowhere to be found, and when she is in the room, she doesn't do anything. She's ineffective and weak, and with every episode, Daemon's words prove to be true in sentiment.
Fool. You sought greatness but shrank from spilling blood to achieve it, and I see you will suffer the same fate.
The show wants us to believe that RHAENYRA and ALICENT are not taken seriously because they are women, but in truth, they might not be taken seriously because they are just stupid. Ironically, the show wants us to believe that they are devalued because they are victims of a patriarchal system, but the only victim of this system I can see is actually AEGON. I remember in season 1 that AEGON didn't want anything to do with this. He never wanted the power or the crown at all. In fact, he even tried to convince AEMOND to let him run away to Essos so that he could ascend the throne and be rid of him, because he really didn't want to be the king. He even told his mother, ALICENT, as much, but she forced him to take on the burden many times throughout the story.
You are the challenge! You are the challenge, Aegon! Simply by living and breathing!
ALICENT urged Aegon to take the crown and to take his position seriously, and yet when he tries to do exactly that, he is ridiculed and undermined.
Do simply what is needed of you. Nothing.
Aegon even loses his son, and no one seems to give a damn. Not Alicent, Helena, Otto, or anyone really. Everyone moves on, and yet he mourns and grieves alone, with no one by his side. And now he is betrayed by his brother and almost slain. Though the story is biased against him, he actually emerges as the most sympathetic character for me in this series. In fact, the moment between him and Sunfire, where the dragon nudges him gently on the shoulder, was beautiful for me, because Sunfire seems to be the only one who genuinely cares for him. Him and Sir CRISTON Cole. It's only Sir CRISTON Cole who is genuinely devastated at the sight of him after his fall, and the look on his face says more than 1,000 words ever could. Since Viserys was so absent in his sons' lives, it was Sir CRISTON who practically raised Aegon, and so when he looks upon his crippled body, he doesn't just see his king and his sire, he also sees a son in Aegon. I don't know if that's something that the show's writers intended, but it is a relationship that's in keeping with the descriptions in the book. After his fall, it's said that King Aegon II did not die, though his burns brought him such pain that some say he prayed for death. His grace did not rise from his bed for the rest of the year, and none was allowed to disturb his rest, save his mother the Queen Dowager and his hand, Sir CRISTON Cole. I hope that this is an aspect of their relationship that the show keeps into the story, Sir CRISTON's genuine concern for Aegon's well-being. Otherwise, I didn't hate this episode. In fact, it was pretty good. There was good action in the end, and the directing was phenomenal from beginning till end. One of my favorite subplots right now is still Daemon and everything that's happening to him in Harrenhal with Alice Rivers. It's interesting how the show is expanding on the book, because in Fire and Blood, Daemon is said to have been immune to Alice's powers. On the show, Daemon is certainly not immune to her powers at all, and this is one of the changes that I love from the book. But what about you? What did you love and hate from episode 4 of House of the Dragon? Let me know down below in the comments section, and if you like this video, then click the thumbs up button and subscribe for more content. Thank you for watching. Peace.